There is a high possibility that I am going to need medical attention after this one. Facebook memes.
Let's go!
Facebook memes are possibly the #1 scourge of my entire existence. Facebook itself is just an abomination. But it is also a necessary evil. So many people I know use it that in order to actually try and get hold of them, I'm having to contact them through Facebook. So I can't really avoid having to use it. But every time I go on there, and I mean every time, never has there been an exception to this, but there is always plenty of content on there that makes me think, are these people who I'm, need to keep in touch with worth enduring this fucking bollocks for? Every time I log in, my wall is covered with these Facebook memes that, for starters, they are never funny, never have been, never will be. I wonder about the intelligence of some of these people who are sitting there with, Photoshop or whatever, thinking, oh, it's just going to be hilarious. Then people are going to share this because it's really funny. Oh, I'm going to be like, everyone's going to think I'm fucking great for creating this. No, we don't. Most of us, those of us who possess an ounce of intelligence, think you are a fucking cunt. And the reason we think you are that is because you are sitting there creating shits like this. Half the time, they don't have any image at all. It's just text written on a plain background. Well, why couldn't you fucking type that instead of having to make an image of it? If they do have an image, then they tend to fall into two different categories. The first is a background image that has absolutely fuck all to do with whatever you are writing on it. Absolutely fuck all. The worst of those is the current fad for putting fucking minions from the shitty fucking film, was it Despicable Me or whatever, and using those as background images for whatever bollocks you've written. Why? They have nothing whatso fucking ever to do with what you've written. So that's the first one. The second one is that they've usually had to Photoshop it and do a bit of image manipulation so that they can make some wafer thin pun. In fact, not even wafer thin, it's as thin as a sheet of paper, to make a pun work. So they've had to doctor an image so that they can then make this hilarious fucking comment then look funny. And shock horror, it never is funny. And if you are the kind of person who thinks they are funny, then get the fuck out of my life now. So that's the so-called hilarious ones. But on top of that, there are the inspirational ones. It's hard to say which is worse, actually, between the supposed funny ones and the inspirational ones. They are both moronic. But the inspirational ones just defy belief. They are complete bollocks. If you are so lacking in any kind of like self-belief that you need a fucking image on Facebook to sort of perk you up into doing something, then you may as well fucking end it now, because your life is never going to amount to anything. On top of all those, they will often resort to using emotional blackmail. They're really great, those are. And shock horror, they don't work. When you get ones like, you know, some kid holding up a fucking bit of paper with some bullshit written on it, which is usually along the lines of, if I can get 1 million likes, my mum says I will get a kidney transplant. Yeah, you know the ones, you've seen them all before. And they do provide quite an interesting insight into the medical profession. It is you know, quite well known. I'll improvise by using this this pad here as my medical journal. Mrs. Patton, I see your son here is waiting for a kidney transplant. Well, I have some good news and some bad news for you, Mrs. Patton. The good news is that we have a donor kidney ready for your son. I thought you'd be pleased to hear that. The bad news is that I'm afraid your son's image on Facebook only got 975,000 shares. So it didn't get the million, so I'm afraid he's not going to have it and he's going to die. Ah well, you win some, you lose some. And people believe these fucking things. They believe that if this fucking image gets 1 million shares, only then will he get a kidney transplant or whatever fucking transplant he needs. I mean, how fucking stupid do you have to be to believe that? It doesn't stop there. You then get ones that say like, oh, next year, this is a genuine one that I saw. Next year, the planet Pluto will be aligned with Saturn in such a way that if people on Earth jump up, they will be able to jump twice as high and take twice as long to, well, when they are jumping, and take twice as long to land. This is due to the gravitational effect that Pluto will have on the planet Earth when it is in this position. And people shared it. Never mind that the planet Pluto is smaller than Australia. Never mind also that the planet Pluto is so far away that New Horizons probe that got there, you know, just a couple of months ago, took 10 years to get there. And for most of that journey, it was travelling at about 30 kilometres a second. And it took 10 years. And this planet, well, it's not even classed as a planet now, this minor planet, well, its diameter is the size of Australia. It can sit in the Pacific Ocean. And it's going to have that much of a gravitational effect on Earth, is it? But people share it. Oh, there's the one about Mars will be, you will be able to see Mars. I think this was only a couple of months ago. Yeah, if you look up in the sky, you'll be able to see Mars. It's the first time this has happened for decades. And it won't happen again for another century, or something like that. You can see Mars every night of the year. It's not difficult to find. Now the thing is, it doesn't look like it does in the photo that they accompany this with. The photo has a picture of Mars right next to the moon, roughly the exact same size. Mars is so far away that this manned mission, you know, to get someone to walk on Mars, that one of its many hurdles is the fact that it would take 3 years to get there. It doesn't take 3 years to get to the moon, and Mars is bigger than the moon, so for it to, you know, look as big in our sky as the moon is, it would need to be pretty fucking close. Certainly a lot closer than it is at the moment. And again, people share this bollocks. There is a stat that blows me away. 1 in 7 of the entire population of this planet has a Facebook account. And yet this sort of stuff is what's going around and being shared on Facebook. Are you trying to tell me that 1 in 7 of this entire planet's population, that's 1 billion people, are that fucking stupid? Is it any wonder that I, you know, think the human race deserves to die out? I could not give a toss about a nuclear holocaust because, quite frankly, the human race is so fucking moronic, it doesn't deserve to survive. Now, I've picked out some examples. I could have cherry-picked these, but I decided not to. I decided to, you know, just go through whatever was available. These following examples are quite simply memes that appeared on my Facebook wall today. That's all they are. I haven't gone around picking out, you know, specific ones. I was going to, but because there are so many that are just fucking bollocks, that well, in the end I just said, fuck it, I'll just grab the first 20 that I see. So yeah, you're going to get some shining examples of what memes are all about, in case you are, you know, the one person in the solar system who doesn't know what they're all about. And to add to the experience, I shall read them out in the style of your average meme fan and meme creator. Here we go. The correct way to weigh yourself. I can't believe I was doing it wrong all these years. We must share this to all. No, you mustn't share it to all. If I don't fucking share it to anyone. Remember, clocks go forward 1 hour next Sunday, 4th October. Please share. Okay, this one isn't actually that, you know, shitty or, you know, cuntish or anything. But if you look at the date, it's clear that this must be for the Southern Hemisphere. 4th of October, but the clock's going forward, so it's springtime. So it's a safe assumption that this is for somewhere like, you know, Australia or New Zealand, somewhere like that. This meme was shared on my wall twice. One person who did it was from Canada, the other from the US. Yes. I really don't need to add any more to that, do I? As you take another breath, someone takes their last. Stop complaining, appreciate life. Well, that's me inspired. You won't hear me complaining anymore, eh? One day she finally grasped that unexpected things were always going to happen in life, and with that she realised the only control she had was how she chose to handle them. So she made the decision to survive using courage, humour and grace. She was the queen of her own life, and the choice was hers. Now, what the fuck was the point of that? Who is it talking about? And how does that fucking relate to anybody else on the face of the earth? And perhaps most importantly, who gives a flying fuck? Can't go wrong with a woman that hustles like a man, cooks like your mom, has sex appeal like a stripper, and makes you laugh like your best friend. Great. So, if you can't compete with that, you may as well fucking give up trying now. How's that for inspirational? Ladybug. I mean, just fuck off. Seriously, just fuck off. There we go. Having to Photoshop an image to make a paper-thin pun funny, and I used the word funny quite wrongly. That was actually the one that caused me to have to redo all of my voiceovers for each of the memes. I was reading them out in the style of the Gumbies from Monty Python. So it was Ladypug, but I can't do it without pissing myself laughing. And when I saw how long some of the next ones were going to be, I just right, I can't do it anymore. So yeah, you've got the emotionless one instead. Thank fuck for that. That one person that makes you happy as soon as you start talking to them. Well, how about that for philosophical genius? Never mind, Plato or whatever, you just need stuff like that. What about them? If there's something about somebody who makes you smile just because they start talking to you, well, yeah, what of it? Oh no, we don't bother with that bit. The only philosopher who ever spoke anything like that was Testicles. Who makes somebody smile just because they start talking to someone? If I was to start talking to somebody, it's usually along the lines of me saying that something is a load of fucking bollocks. That doesn't tend to make very many people smile. I mean, okay, just because I don't make people smile doesn't mean nobody else can, but I just find it hard to believe that, well, A, that it can happen, and B, well, so what? What of it? And this inspirational meme seems to neglect to tell anybody that. Husbands are the best people to share secrets with. They'll never tell anyone because they aren't even listening. So here we go with the fucking minions. And annoyingly, this is not the last time they will appear in this fucking thing. What does that minion have to do with what was said? There isn't a shred of a connection between the two. So why fucking put it in there? On top of that, what sort of cuntish quote is that? So you're assuming that your husband isn't listening to you? So that's a great assumption, that is. I bet he's well glad he fucking married you. Breaking news. There's been a fight in the biscuit tin. A lad called Rocky hit a penguin over the head with a club, tied him to a wagon wheel with a blue ribbon and made his breakaway in a taxi. Police say Rocky was last seen just after 8 in Maryland with a ginger nut known to police as Rich T. They didn't leave a crumb of evidence, so the jammy dodger got away with it. This one was surely a competition entry to you know, for a contest to fit the most wafer thin puns on a single meme. And it wasn't funny to begin with, let alone by the time, you know, the fucking 20th one came along, you know, naming all kinds of biscuits. Ha 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 ha, how fucking hilarious. And who the fuck ever kept after eights in a biscuit tin, for fuck's sake? I hope there's an animal somewhere that nobody has ever seen, and I hope nobody ever sees it. So you're hoping that there's something that you have never seen and nobody else has ever seen or ever will see. Well, that's great. If you never see it and nobody else ever sees it, then what the fucking hell does it matter if it exists or not, if everyone is completely oblivious to it, including you who wrote and posted the fucking meme in the first place? Aging may have slowed me down, but it hasn't shut me up. I fucking wish it had. After everything I've been through, I am still smiling. Not because I'm strong, but because I'm crazy. Now that should scare you. Yeah, nothing says that, you know, a person is crazy and hilarious and funny and such a, you know, top person, quite like creating hilarious Facebook memes that say how crazy you are. Repost to honour and thank those who gave all for us. Keep scrolling to forget them. Well, I don't know about you, but to me, nothing, you know, says I respect fallen soldiers quite like blatant emotional blackmail. Especially blatant emotional blackmail that never works, because as soon as I see, you know, stuff like that, I just think, oh, fuck off, I'm scrolling and you can stick your fucking bullshit blackmail right up your arse. Besides which, I think that a lot of those were American soldiers, so I don't give a fuck about them anyway. Exclusive first picture of water on Mars. Now, this is another image type that I actually forgot about in the main rant, which is, as well as photoshopping images to make wafer thin puns hilarious, people also actually take photos that they've set up themselves to make hilarious, you know, well, not even wafer thin puns funny. One that's constantly appearing is the hilarious shrimps on the Barbie. Yeah, you know the one. And now we get this. So, you know, the scientific discovery that there is water on Mars, someone comes up with this hilarious fucking composition. I don't know. He must have gone on a fucking long mental journey to come up with this. You know, oh, let's put a glass of water on top of a Mars bar, except the Mars bar looks like it's been squashed. It looks more like an empty fucking wrapper. I'll just go and fuck yourself. It takes skill to trip over flat surfaces. No, it doesn't. It takes being a fucking prick of the highest order. And here we are with the fucking minions again. Thankfully this is the last time they'll be showing in this or any other video I do. Poxy fucking things. The most beautiful part to loving a guarded girl is this: when she lets you in, it's not because she needs you. She stopped needing people a long time ago. It's because she wants you. and that is the purest love of all. I don't know what it is about this one, but you do get the slight impression that it may have been made by an American. This sort of nauseating bullshit that, well, you know, the USA is the only country capable of generating that much nausea in just a couple of sentences. When I see things like that, I wish that the USA had their own internet and the rest of the world had their own. We would certainly be better off for it. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just stop, breathe and focus on the positive, and if that doesn't work, try a new pair of shoes. And what better way of illustrating that than having a picture of 5 completely different shoes, not one pair. That's real fucking artistic quality. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to add anything else to that. You know, it may shock some people, but new shoes are not the answer to every problem on the face of the earth, unless of course you're a fan of Sex and the City, in which case new shoes are, well, the reason for existing. But I could do a whole separate video about Sex and the fucking City, but I'm not prepared to subject myself to that fucking thing. Nina has 18 Snickers, she eats 4, she trades 8 for 10 Mars, she sells 6 of them and buys 3 Big Macs. Why is she wearing leggings? I mean, what can you say? Pure fucking bullshit. I would rather have this kind of date than go to a fancy dinner. I can only assume that this bloke hasn't gone on very many dates. You know, you can imagine the reaction of the woman that he's going to take out. Actually, no, I can't. Yeah. Hey babe, I've got a great date lined up for us. We're going to spend tonight in the back of a pickup truck. What do you mean, fuck off? Gonna make a voodoo doll of myself and give it a back rub. I honestly thought I had used all of the minion memes. Clearly not. Okay, at least in this one the minion is holding a voodoo doll, so for once it does have some sort of relevance to the shit that's been written. But if you are the sort of, you know, moronic fucking shit for brains who's, you know, is going to do something like that, then don't, you know, publicise the fact that you are that much of a cunt, because, well, you'll end up getting people making videos pointing out how much of a cunt you are, won't you? Anyway, mercifully that's the last one. However, for the sake of balance, not all images on Facebook, you know, make my blood pressure shoot through the roof and make me feel like my IQ is plummeting. There are a couple that I do like. So yeah, for the sake of balance, Here's one. Yep, I'll have 2 of those. Thank you so much. Can you tell I've been single since 2011?